Hello, Talk Funders. Today we're joined with Rue from Faceplant Sunglasses. Hello there, my friend.
Hey Alan, how you doing?
I'm the best, thank you very much. Listen, Rue, we'll just go straight into looking at your wonderful and entertaining Kickstarter page and indeed the video. I think this is one of the most entertaining crowdfunding videos I have watched. Certainly, I was sort of laughing all my way through it. So I would recommend any Talk Funders or Kickstarters to go and look at this video. But you get your message across really well because you really are the Faceplant sunglasses. Which are live on Kickstarter at the moment, are the most sustainable sunglasses created using recycled plastic frames with biodegradable lenses. Can we talk a little bit more about that, please?
Yeah, so I mean, the video, I guess our goal with that was to make something really different. You know, the sunglasses industry is full of the big major brands, Ray-Ban, Prada, all the designer things, and it's kind of pretty staid. You look at the websites and they're all very similar, same sort of layout. And we were like, okay, how do you stand out in a space like that? And from the get-go, we were like, well, let's just not be a normal sunglasses brand. Let's be something that's completely out there, very different, appeals to a certain type of person. When we actually did our first mail out, or to try and get some email addresses, there was a button that they clicked when they entered their details in. It just said, I like to party. And then instantly sort of rickrolled them with the Venga Boys We Like to Party video from YouTube, which they couldn't stop. And it was just like this sort of comedy thing. So it kind of started from there. But the core of the brand, behind all the fun and the stupidity, I guess, is that we did want to make the world's most sustainable sunglasses. So there's a buddy of mine, John Wallhouse, who I've known since I was 18, and he's an award-winning designer who has been championing sustainable brands since 2004. So back when sustainability wasn't really a big feature. And when I decided I wanted to set up a sunglasses company, for no other reason other than I wear a lot of sunglasses and I've got drawers full of scratched and broken ones and thought there must be a better way, I got in touch with John, and he was from the get-go saying, I'm not involved unless we make it sustainable, which was a massive headache, because to try and get a factory to understand what you're trying to do and what you're trying to create, and then also to get a factory that's not making your sunglasses, which are really eco-friendly on a Wednesday, but then making plastic rubbish sunglasses on a Thursday, that was a real challenge. So it took us a long time to kind of get there, Alan. But we're there now, and the product that we've got on Kickstarter will take the Coca-Cola test with anyone. I don't think there's a more sustainable sunglasses brand on the planet right now.
Great, fantastic. And just as you go down the Kickstarter page, you'll see the sunglasses are made out of 5 recycled plastic bottles.
Yeah. So the key with that was we wanted something that was going to be really hard wearing and strong and flexible. And there's a big movement at the moment in using recycled plastic. You know, we've got millions of tons of the stuff on the earth, and we need to get rid of it or use it or find a way of doing something with it, because otherwise it just sits around in landfill or ends up in the ocean, clogging things up. So the idea of using that raw material is quite, you know, a sustainable one, but also it creates a really strong frame. So the sunglasses are ridiculously flexible. We've run them over with a car. You can see that in the video. You know, you can't break them. So that was a real key. And then kind of adding into that, you know, if we come down, as you mentioned, to the sort of key features, there's a few people making sustainable frames. But what I think really sets us apart is this biodegradable lens technology, which we're using. And the idea was that I'm forever scratching sunglasses. I'm terrible. I put them on top of my hat. I take my hat off. They go flying on the floor. My partner, Mary's always having a go at me going, why aren't you looking after your sunglasses more? And it's like, well, I'm a busy, active guy. I'm kite surfing, mountain biking, doing all these things. So they just get scratched and broken. And I just accept that as a fact. So I've got this drawer full of them, and I was like, well, really, the frames are fine. You know, the frames are never that badly damaged. It's just the lenses that get knackered and the nice coating gets peeled off. So I was like, okay, if we could make the lenses biodegradable, so when you pop them out, you can replace them and you can basically give your sunglasses a new lease of life. So that's the kind of real USP, is that The lenses aren't made of plastic, which is what most brands use for their sunglass lenses. So you'll find a sustainable sunglass brand says, hey, we're making really sustainable sunglasses, but the lenses are just plastic. So, you know, they're still causing a problem. Whereas our lenses are biodegradable. They take about 11 days, they start to degrade in the ground. And after about 60 months, they've completely gone to carbon and plant matter and water. So what they biodegrade into is a really safe product for the environment as well. Some biodegradable stuff actually leaves harmful chemicals in the ground. We wanted to make sure we weren't, you know, going to be doing that. So they really do disappear into nothing. And if you scratch the lenses, you just pop them out, takes a split second to do, and pop some new lenses in, and you've extended the life of your sunglasses indefinitely. So that was a real key kind of focus for us on the whole product.
And on the key features image here, there's also, I mean, they are proper sunglasses because they're, I've never, UV 400 Cat 3 protection. What does that mean, Rui?
Yeah, so it's kind of a funny number, that one. I mean, it's basically the standard for what all sunglasses should be. You know, they need to be UV 400 protection. That basically stops 99% of UV light getting through to your eyeballs, which is really important. And then the Cat 3, there's a series of numbers. They go from 1 to 5, and Cat 3 is what you can wear driving your car. So Cat 4, you're not allowed to drive with, but Cat 4 would be something you might wear up a mountain on a really bright day, and it would be a really dark tint lens to take the bright light away from your eyeballs, but you're not legally allowed to drive with a Cat 4 lens. So we're using kind of the strongest eye protection that we can, that you can wear every day. You know, you can drive in them, you can do whatever, but you know that your eyeballs aren't going to melt out of your head at any point, which is, you know, obviously a key thing for us to achieve.
And like, you know, like some of the key features are you get the super flexibility. You can replace the lenses. All the lenses are fully biodegradable. Frames made from recycled plastic. But just in case there is an issue with it, there's also got this Captain's lifetime guarantee. What's that there?
Yeah, so we're standing by this one. When we got our first samples back from the factory, after, you know, working with so many different factories trying to find the right people, we were like, right, can we break these sunglasses? Because if we're going to sell them, we want to know whether they're, you know, at what point are they going to snap? How durable are they? And so John and I were, because of COVID, at different ends of the world, sort of trying to work things out. And he was basically sitting there looking at it and going, oh yeah, I've tried bending them this way, I've tried bending them that way. And I sort of thought, well, I'll sit on them and just see if I can sit on them and see what happens. So I sat on them and they didn't break. And I was like, that's cool, we can sit on them, that's good. And he's like, oh, I'm going to try standing on them. So he stood on them and they didn't break. And then he just phoned me up one day and he goes, oh, I'm going to run them over with my truck. And I was like, dude, don't do that. You're going to ruin them. You know, like, that's just stupid. We've only got 2 pairs in the country that are samples from the factory that we need. And he goes, oh yeah, we've got to test them. We've got to test them. And he's a bit mad, John. He likes sort of breaking things. So he basically went out and ran them over with his 2-ton Land Rover. And he didn't do this on grass or anywhere where they might have a chance of surviving. He did it on a concrete car park at 30 miles an hour. And they survived. So I was like, well, you're an idiot, but okay, we've got a product here that is kind of good. So the Captain's lifetime guarantee is a bit of a fun take on my outfit for the video. And the fact that, you know, if you break them, you send them back to us, we'll mend them. If we can't mend them, we'll recycle them, because the plastic that we use is recyclable as well. And we'll just send you a new pair, no questions asked. We hope that no one's going to go and run them over with a car to test it out, because we've done that. So it's kind of like, we've tried to destroy them so you don't have to. Hopefully you'll use them like you should, a pair of sunglasses, and look after them and treat them well.
And it's all in the campaign video, the hilarious campaign video.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. That it took a lot of work on the script to get it right, but we were very sort of key from the beginning that it had to be different and had to be something that stood out. And the reaction to it so far has been amazing. I think it's garnered quite a lot.
Oh yeah, if there was an awards for Kickstarter videos, it will be up there. So would my friend. So let's move on to the 2 styles. You have the crash overrides and the wasted weekends. Yeah. So let's look at the crash overrides first of all.
Yeah, so with the styling, originally I wanted to make the craziest pair of stupid looking glasses to go with the whole brand ethos. And then we spoke to a few people and they were like, well, if you're trying to reach a mass market, you basically want to, you know, have a style that everybody could wear. So we went back to the more sensible drawing board, and the Crash Overrides are kind of a modern Wayfarer style pair of glasses. So we've really trimmed down the sides, we've streamlined the arms, we made them slightly wider than what most people buy from the shops, because I always find sunglasses are a bit small for my face, and you know, I think with sunglasses you can wear them a little bit bigger and they look a bit better. And so that was where we ended up with that design. Funnily enough, I thought John, my partner, being a designer, would design the sunglasses, but he's very much a graphic designer. So it was very much me sitting there with drawings and trying to make them look good, and then working with the factory to sort of see what was possible. And then we needed to name them, and we were like, well, what do we call them? You know, we don't want to just give them the boring name. So the name Crash Override is actually taken from the film Hackers, which I don't know if you remember, Alan, but a really old movie. And that's one of the hackers, like call signs, if you were, or usernames in the film. So that's where we sort of took the Crash Override from. And it kind of felt it with our sort of 80s vibe around the company, I guess. That was a movie from when we were kids, so it kind of felt right. Plus, Crash Override, the brand's called Faceplant. You know, hopefully you're not going to faceplant while wearing these, because they're going to override your Crash. So
And
it all kind of ties in a bit.
And in the deep dive interview we're going to do following this, we'll be looking specifically at you have a few of these sunglasses and with you, so we'll be doing a deep dive interview looking specifically at the glasses themselves. What colors do these Crash Overrides come in?
So we've got the graphene black with a velvet black lens. Interestingly, all the lens colors are named after cocktails, by the way. So you can actually drink a velvet black if you want, or you can wear them on your face. And then we've got the ghost white and the ice teal. So there's 3 colorways in the Crash Override style. Obviously, once we've gone to production and we're a bit further along the line, we'll be bringing out more colors, and the possibilities are kind of limitless, I guess.
The style that really appealed to me was your other style called the Wasted Weekends.
Yeah, so I just love these. These are the ones that I wear. So the bright orange Wasted Weekends, you'll see me wearing those pretty much everywhere I go. Again, named after one of my favorite films, which is a movie called Go, which was a bit of a kind of underground indie hit in the early 90s, I think. And the tagline for the movie is something like, a wasted weekend is never a weekend wasted. So I was like, well, let's just call them the Wasted Weekends. And they're a much bigger, kind of more aviator style, but with a kind of different twist to them. And they're available in the neon orange, which was one of the first colorways we decided on, which just looks absolutely phenomenal in the flesh. It's brilliant. And also the graphene black. And then also the ice white as well, the ghost white, sorry. And the lenses for those, we've got the Blue Lagoon cocktail lens, and then the Dragonfire cocktail lens as well. So if anyone's listening, they can look up those cocktails on the internet and have one this evening.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I really like the Wasted Weekends, and I think I like the orange one. What's the orange one called? Neon.
Yeah, the neon orange Wasted Weekends. It's funny when we sort of pick the colors and the styling, you know, we're like, oh, we're not going to sell many of those. And the ice teal, I think it is, and the neon orange have by far been the most popular colors. Like, everyone's loving the slightly more out there glasses. And that's, that's great.
Fantastic, my friend. Fantastic. Well, let's just scroll down the Kickstarter page and let's just look at your really interesting mission statement, please, Rue.
Yeah, so I guess the ethos of the company is that we want to make sunglasses better. You know, we believe that there's billions and billions and billions of pairs of sunglasses out there at the moment. They're all made from plastic, the majority of them. And the reason why the bigger brands are doing that is it's very cheap to produce. So you can get a pair of sunglasses out of a factory for a couple of dollars and then charge $150 for them. But they're made out of cheap plastic materials and they won't last. So what we want to do is reduce plastic waste by actually taking plastic out of the ocean and out of landfill and putting it into our glasses. And then, you know, making them super eco-conscious with the biodegradable replaceable lenses, and just have a bit of fun while doing it. You know, we don't want to be another boring sunglasses brand that's trying to be super cool and aspirational. We want to be something that people can relate to, that's just a bit of fun. I think we've all had a pretty tough 18 months. So that kind of getting out there, having a bit of a party with everything and enjoying yourself, sort of resonates with us and everyone that we want to be a customer, I guess. And then the final strap line in the mission statement is the get the most eco-conscious, mega sustainable, orangutan loving, shark cuddling, freakishly indestructible sunglasses you can buy, which if you watch the campaign video, that's right at the end. And we actually filmed the campaign video in different orders because we had a bunch of extras with us at the time, and some of them had to leave. And so that last scene of the movie where everyone's throwing money around and I've got that one line, it was quite a long bit of script and I messed it up, I'll be honest, about 9 times. And of course, the first time I messed it up, the director's like, okay, everyone pick up the money. And there's, I don't know, $600 bills on the floor that we've got to pick up and scrape up. They were fake ones, obviously. We hadn't gone out and blown a load of money at the exchange rate place to get the cash, but you know, just all this money was on the floor. We had to pick it all up, we had to reset the set, and then of course they're like, okay, action, and it comes to that bit and I just completely freeze and get it wrong and just mess it up. So while it's an entertaining bit of our mission statement, it was definitely the hardest part of the video to create.
And well, moving on to that, the next part is like on top of the, you know, very laudable and really excellent and really in rhythm with the times mission statement. You also have the very positive, I find, vibe for, as you were saying, the last 18 months is we like to party, everybody does. And I think there's a really fun-loving spirit to your company, to the Faceplant sunglasses in general.
We were quite funny on that one. We basically had a strap line of offbeat vision for life is our trademark strap line. And then when we created our homepage a couple of months before, we launched on Kickstarter just to harvest a few emails. Was doing it with my friend John, and we were going through it, and he was just like, oh, what should we put on the button? And we didn't want to write click here or add your email here or whatever. So we just made the button say, I like to party. And then when they clicked it, we got their email address and they got the Venga Boys We Like to Party video off YouTube playing at full volume on their screen. And weirdly, from that one little funny thing that we were having hysterics making this webpage doing, it stuck. And so We Like to Party has now become more of a strap line than offbeat vision for life. So it's funny.
I like it. And here's the team that you party with. There's your good self, Rue, and you've got John the Bigfoot.
Yeah, so he hates, he's not on social media, he doesn't have a Facebook account, he's not on Instagram, and he did not want his face to be shown. He wouldn't have his full name put on the Kickstarter. Like he's missed, I keep wondering if he's actually a spy of some description and he's James Bond in real life or something. So John's our designer, and that's why he's wearing the Bigfoot outfit in the movie.
And he's the designer, and he's also the chief disco officer.
Yeah, so we kind of thought so CDO is chief design officer, so we were like, well, that's chief disco officer. I think I missed a trick with chief party officer because I could have been the chief entertainment officer and that would have been CEO, but there we go, chief party officer stuck.
And then there's Jane.
Yeah, so Jane's our chief fun/fight officer. She's actually been my accountant, well, more than my accountant, but she's been a friend of mine and financial advisor for one of my other businesses for about 6 or 7 years now. And she's phenomenal. So when we came up with a business plan for Faceplant, John and I sort of said to Jane, hey, would you mind just reading this business plan as my accountant and financial advisor? And she turned around and said, well, this is brilliant, I want in. And I was like, well, if there's ever a sort of a statement of intent that you're on the right track, it's when your accountant says they want to invest in your business. So Jane's our chief financial officer, and she's the one that looks after all the numbers, which is great because I'm terrible with them.
And pulling it all together, I mean, your timeline's very impressive here. You're actually really at the end of your timeline, because you've went through the whole iteration processes, etc. And again, we'll be looking at the actual produced sample sunglasses in the deep dive afterwards. But you really are nearly at the end of the run here in terms of the timeline.
Yeah, so we've been working really hard on the project for the last 2 years. Obviously, COVID put a bit of a spanner in the works because every eyewear company in Asia was suddenly doing protective eyewear and not making sunglasses. So that made it really difficult. And there was probably sort of a 4-month delay, which is why we're launching in kind of, around June, July time, rather than we'd have obviously much preferred to have launched it in February last year or this year. So we're definitely a little bit behind on where we want to be, but equally the product's so unique. Every day before we launched on Kickstarter, we were getting more and more anxious that someone was going to come to market with these biodegradable, replaceable lenses and a product kind of like ours. And that's why we kind of pushed just to get it out there now, and try and get it, as far as we can with the Kickstarter. It's not an ideal time to be selling sunglasses because it's a bit late in the season, but hey, that's where we are. But yeah, we're actually, Kickstarter's basically there to fund or help us fund the first production run. And we've hit the target on Kickstarter, so that's going to be happening. So yeah, we're pretty excited about where we are in terms of the timeline.
And then we'll just quickly look at the pledges. I think would be a good time to look at it. Is the crash overrides are coming in at £60 for the different colors? Is that correct?
Yeah, so crash overrides are £60, no matter what color you want. And then we've got the wasted weekends are priced in at 65. And with that, you get a really nice box, which is made out of FSC cardboard. And that's, we've worked really hard on the packaging. We'd be mad if we made these amazing sunglasses and then shipped them in plastic. So all the packaging that we've got is really good. So you get a really nice box with it. And you also get a sunglasses bag, which is amazingly enough made out of recycled plastic too. So half a plastic bottle goes into each sunglasses bag that we make, which is great. And you feel them and they're just identical. You couldn't tell the difference between a normal microfiber bag and the bag that we've got. Plus there's a bunch of other little extra bits that you get as part of the rewards. So good vibe from us, popular at parties, that kind of stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Because I was just noticing there, you do a double up for £110. And then what's this?
So if you double up or mix and match, you basically save £5 on each pair of glasses that you buy. If you're feeling really generous, you can buy the full set. So if you can't make up your mind as to which color you want, then you can just buy all of them.
Cool. I could see people actually doing that because, as you say, I mean, there's such an entertaining, colors, everything, I could see somebody doing that. Is that the crash overrides full set?
Crash overrides. So yes, you can buy a full set of the crash overrides or a full set of the wasted weekends. And then we've also got the full set of everything, which quite a few people have gone for actually, which is quite nice. So they're going to get 6 pairs of sunglasses and be exceedingly popular at parties. But it's nice to remember as well that each pair takes 5 plastic bottles out the ocean and landfill. So, someone who buys 6 pairs of sunglasses, they've taken 30 plastic bottles and made them into sunglasses, which, comes back to our kind of slightly more sensible, sustainable ethos as well.
And as it says here at the, your estimated delivery will be end of August, and you are shipping anywhere in the world. And that the Faceplant, the full set is coming in at £345, and you have 7 backers of that already. So that's great. Just before we finish off, you have a section on the Kickstarter page saying the future. I got just reading through the campaign that this is going to be your first set. So let's talk about the development, how you're going to develop Faceplant.
Yeah, so when we were sort of talking about how we would launch the company and where we would go, you know, we've got lots of ideas, and it's like, okay, well, let's have 5 different styles and 10 different colors in each style, and all of that costs money. You know, one thing that we've done is we've designed our own sunglasses. We've not gone to a company and, you know, and said, oh, you know, we'll pick this one or pick that one. You know, you can get a smorgasbord of hundreds and hundreds of different pairs of sunglasses, and you'd say, yeah, I'll have that one, that one, that one. And that wasn't something we wanted to do. We wanted it to be about us. We wanted it to be our own product. You know, you're not going to find these styles anywhere else because we bought and own the molds. So at some point we had to say, right, let's draw the line. And molds aren't expensive. They are expensive. They cost money. And so it's like, right, what can we afford to do ourselves and know that we can achieve it without, you know, putting ourselves super out of pocket? So we just decided to settle on the 2 styles, which we hope, you know, most people will like, with the crash overrides being kind of a classic Wayfarer type design, and the Wasted Weekend's a bit more of an aviator statement pair. And that's where we sort of pitched it at the launch. And then when it came to colors, we were like, oh, we could do this color, we could do that. And it's like, no, we've just got to stick with these colors. And John, the designer, had a few frustrating calls with him because this whole process has taken so long. So we decided on these colors a while ago, and he's like, oh, I really don't like the black anymore. I think we should do this. And it's like, but we've got to just put a stake in the ground and say, this is what we're launching with. This is the launch. And then we can look to the future. So basically the next step for us will be, you know, get this first production run done, get the sunglasses in people's hands. You know, we're super excited about when people have this product in their hands. You know, we've got them, we've got some production samples, we've sent some to our ambassadors, but we're really limited on pairs. And so when, you know, 300, 400, 500 people get them in their hands, I think they're going to be advocates for us telling people about them, because it's such an awesome product, and it is really, really well made, and it looks amazingly finished, and the lenses are fantastic, and the quality of the sunglasses is just second to none. And so that will then help us grow, and then we'll be focusing on building the website, making sure that's up, and, you know, pushing out more media and more marketing and getting the word out there about Faceplant. And what we want to do is try and actually change the sunglasses industry eventually. You know, we want the other sunglasses brands to sit up and go, oh, what are these guys doing over at Faceplant? Oh, they're doing it slightly differently. And kind of the reason why they're not doing it at the moment is it's quite expensive to produce the way that we're doing. You know, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of factories making, you know, eyewear in bad materials. And this is the only factory we've found that can meet our high standards. So the cost of that is quite high, but we really believe in the product. We really believe that we're on a path that can hopefully change the sunglasses industry as we know it. And that's, you know, our goal is to actually, you know, make sure that in the future, plastic sunglasses are a thing of the past, and we're all wearing, you know, sustainable sunglasses instead.
Oh, wow. That's phenomenal. So I can say, Rui, well done. It's really, so please come back if you're going to do another Kickstarter. I can interview you for your next iterations. Absolutely brilliant, man.
Oh, definitely.
So listen, oh, wow. Did you see that? Just to say,
it's going up as we speak.
As we speak, there you go. We should be, well, mine, yeah. So anyway, I should be live streaming. So thank you so much, Rui, from Faceplant Sunglasses, who are on their really winning, I think, product here, which is the most sustainable sunglasses in the world. So all the links are all the Kickstarter links are in the video description below. Thank you so much, my friend. Bye now.
Thank you, Alan. Thanks for your time. Cheers.
Bye.